Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all North and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association for Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenter at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at CACRAO.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, CACRAO.org. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenter.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Andrew Starnes, and I am the Regional Admission Counselor for Illinois Wesleyan University. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to get our presentation going here this evening. And so just real quickly, I am regionally based in Greenville, Tennessee, so East Tennessee. And I do have the pleasure of working with families across the Southeast, including the great states of North and South Carolina. We got a lot of students starting to come up towards Illinois Wesleyan. We've been recruiting this area for about 3 years now, pretty consistent. So definitely miss everyone out there on the road, all the wonderful fairs that I'd be normally going to this time of the year, but the virtual option is definitely better than no information at all. So look forward to getting you some good information about the school. So to get started, Illinois Wesleyan, we are a liberal arts university, about 1,700 undergrads. We're located in Bloomington, Illinois. So we're about 2.5 hours south of Chicago. And as you can see, very, very small classroom sizes, very personable space, great interaction with students and faculty on our campus. You aren't going to see the large stadium style seating at our school. It's definitely going to be small, very close, personable discussions with your faculty. So as I was telling before, you know, if it's a pretty day outside, we were social distancing with the best of it before it became the trend. Go outside, enjoy the beautiful day, close interactive discussions, getting your questions answered with faculty and labs. You're not going to have TAs at our school. It's all about that small university experience that you're going to get at our university. So at IWU, we are made up of 3 main areas: School of Nursing, our College of Liberal Arts and Fine Arts. School of Nursing itself contains our direct admit BSN program. So we've had almost 2 decades of 100% job placement. Just an incredible program and our most selective major to get into. But if you are accepted as a nursing student, you will have your spot secured to continue on through your collegiate career. Actually, I did have a young lady come from Northeastern North Carolina to be a part of our elite BSN program. College of Fine Arts, our theater arts bring in probably the majority of our apps. I had 2 theater students come from North Carolina this past fall, both on our BFA acting. Our BFA musical theater program is nationally ranked, so a lot of students across the board apply for that. And we have limited spots, but nevertheless, strong applicants every year, and including our stage prop, our technical degree as well too. We also have great School of Art and Music. And then finally, our College of Liberal Arts contain the majority of our majors. We have over 80 different major minor combinations, everything from physics and astrophysics to mathematics. To our pre-med program, we had 100% acceptance into med school last year for our students. And of course, our business degrees, everything from management, accounting, and marketing. Students pair up with State Farm and do a lot of opportunities, internships, and employment through them, and tons of other Fortune 500 companies across the Chicago area. We do have a distinct calendar at our school, so it is called a 4-4-1 program. Actually, our students will be taking 4 classes a semester. Our 4 credit-hour classes give them 16 credit hours, so you're at full-time and then some. So that way, not only are you managing fewer classes, but also graduating on time, ideally. So 92% of our students typically graduate on time. Of those that are graduating, they do so in 4 years. So we have a good testimony of our students that are coming in, getting out on time, which helps save you money, and of course, get you into grad school faster if that's what you wish. Our May term is available for the opportunity of being able to stay on, take an extra class, maybe an independent research opportunity or study abroad, so that way you can have an extra opportunity of total immersion in a subject on campus. Speaking of study abroad, as I tell everyone, even though we are a smaller university, we resemble and think a lot like a large university, state school, whatever it may be. But we don't act like one because we don't have tens of thousands of students naturally. But ISU is nearby. We do a lot of partnered up study abroad events with Illinois State. and other colleges as well too. And we just have tons of opportunities with our own cohorts. We have our Freeman Asian internship, full expense paid study abroad, Southeast Asia internship that all majors can apply for to get a spot on that. Wonderful opportunity. Obviously, we're looking forward to getting some normalcy to travel, especially international travel again. So once that happens, we'll have students pretty much about every continent around the world. So we are very in depth with our opportunities for study abroad. Now, diversity and inclusion, we have a whole office devoted to it, the Office of Diversity Inclusion, or you'll hear it referred to as ODI. Big time initiatives to make the campus as diverse as we can. So we have almost a 30% diverse population on our campus of students of color. We do everything from pre-orientation groups to help students of color and different students that come in background to be able to help know they have a place on campus, a voice, great resources. We just want to try to make everyone feel welcomed at our school, and even socioeconomic. We want to make our first-gen students welcome, students of high financial need, Pell students feel welcome. We try to make our campus feel like it is going to be a true home away from home for everyone, no matter where you come from, especially even from the South, being able to make everyone feel welcome to come up to our region. Now, we are NCAA Division III, so we do have wonderful programs on campus for our athletes. We have your traditional atmospheres like football, basketball, wonderful game day atmospheres for our students. We also have other sports that are growing in some areas, not as common in some areas, like our swimming and diving program, our lacrosse programs, and even now men's volleyball and women's bowling. So we are growing our athletic programs across the board. One of the newer ones, though, is our esports program. We actually do have a nationally ranked esports program, just had an upgrade to our state-of-the-art facility. And we have League of Legends, Overwatch, also Fortnite, Rocket League, different games that students are getting recruited for, and you can actually earn a scholarship. So if you're interested, reach out to our coaching staff for all sports, including esports. Our campus life has, again, resemblance of a large university from the resources and activities on campus, but again, without that large population. We do have over 120 different student organizations. We have Greek life with fraternities and sororities on campus. For housing, we actually do have our students that will naturally live on campus through their first 3 years. We have that as a requirement. We'll have the fourth year, senior year, as being optional. But it doesn't have to happen, but majority do choose to stay on campus even their senior year. But we do have a strong residence life with our students staying on campus even through the weekends. Only a few students are allowed to commute that live locally, but it is a very vibrant campus all throughout the traditional semesters, both fall and spring. So that way there's always activities going on. I already mentioned over 120 different student organizations, theater productions. We have concerts, big name concerts that are coming in for different artists that are coming in to perform for our students. So it's just a really awesome background to, again, feel like you're at that large university level without the large university atmosphere. Going into financial aid, we try to make the school as affordable as we can. I always tell everybody, don't be intimidated because we are a Northern liberal arts university. We want the school to be affordable for everyone. So we try to meet need as best we can off the FAFSA. Over 90%, 95% of our students typically receive financial aid. So when a student is admitted, they'll get a merit scholarship. And then that way you will actually get that based on GPA and scores. We are test optional this year, so no matter which route you go, you will get a merit scholarship if admitted. That will be yours to keep each year you're a student at Illinois Wesleyan. So again, I tell everyone all the time, whether it's a private school locally in the South or even in our region up in the North, don't be intimidated by the cost. It's a free application to apply, so you got nothing to lose. See the process through and see what kind of great scholarships and grants we can help give you to make the school very doable. I'm gonna leave up our success screen for a second. Just as we continue to talk about some of the big things going on around the campus, we recently just surveyed our recent 2019 grads. Over 97% of our students have found satisfactory background in and around their fields that they're going into, so either through employment or to grad school. So we always have high success respondents on that, so we could be more proud of our recent graduates. We were recently named the #1 job placement school in Illinois and back top 10 nationally as well too. So if you're looking to get a job out of college, we're going to put all the resources available to make that happen for you. Also to go to grad school as well. So there's just so many big things going on around the campus. We can't be more excited for the opportunities you'll have and for our students in the future as well. Now, as I start to wrap up the presentation, I want everyone to kind of know exactly what the next steps are and how to get in touch with me. So the next steps for seniors, the application is free. We are on the Common App. We would love to see you apply. All we would need is a copy of your transcript and your ACT or SAT score and a letter of recommendation. Now, if you are going test optional, in place of the scores, all we will do is grade off an essay that is required, and then also a quick interview, ideally with me, so that way I can ask you some questions academically, get to know you a little bit better. Very informal, but a good way for us to know a little bit more about you in place of the test scores. And again, whether you go test optional or you go into the traditional score route, we would love to help you get admitted and get an academic scholarship on top of that as well. We will have an early action period in early November. So if you apply and get accepted, get all your material in, you'll receive your decision around December before Christmas break. And then also our typical applications will go live throughout the rest of the spring into the summer. So we will get a chance to work with you on a rolling admission basis. My contact information is up here. Again, I am the regional rep for the South. You could reach me at my email address at astarnes@iwu.edu. or contact me directly at 309-706-6524. Again, both those contact information top left of the screen. So I would love to hear from you if you have questions for me that you want to ask me directly. And then we do have 2 virtual open houses coming up to get way more information than even I've given you here tonight. Those open houses will be in October and November. Great way to get a lot of great information from the school, from the faculty, from other staff members and departments. Regardless, if you have any questions at all, do not hesitate to reach out. That will conclude my presentation. I do want to go ahead now and open up the floor. Did anybody have any particular questions for me? And actually, Madeline, it looks like it is just you and me, and we had one attendee, so I don't think they'll be asking a question. But nevertheless, unless somebody else pops on, I think that's pretty much everything I've got on my presentation side.
All right. Well, we'll give it just a couple more minutes just to make sure that, our attendee doesn't have any questions that they think of. But I may ask you a couple questions while we're sitting here just until we see anything.
Sure.
But why would, let me back up on that. So why should a student choose your institution?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I get it a lot. You immediately stop and think a liberal arts private school in the middle of the Midwest, Illinois Wesleyan, there's North Carolina Wesleyan, there's Virginia Wesleyan, there's so many other Wesleyans to choose from. Why in the world would we go 10 hours away? Well, the number one thing is I tell everybody, we're not going to be for everyone. We're definitely, I know, size-wise, location-wise, not going to appeal to all students. But for the areas that we offer, we are quickly going to move up the number one school choice chain very quickly. Because number one, not every Wesleyan school is going to be the same. So I get that question a lot, like, are all the Wesleyan schools connected? Really, in name only, that is our only major connection. Other than that, every school is as different as NC State and Duke would be or something like that. So I always tell everybody, number one, don't judge the name or the location until you get a chance to see our results. We already spoke about the major results that we're giving students. So for someone that's seeking out that smaller liberal arts university experience with a niche that they're looking for, whether it be the musical theater or the theater program, maybe interested in esports opportunity to get recruited. Maybe they're interested in our strong pre-med program, our results of getting a job. Once one of these areas latch on, they will really, really enjoy learning about the IWU experience, especially with a campus visit or hopefully one in the future. And then also even our students that are recently from the Midwest, we have students all the time that originally were from the Chicago area, from the Midwest area, that have moved to southern states. They have grandparents still up there, they have friends still up there. They're looking to come home. They get excited that we're one of the few schools from that region that are actively recruiting in this area. So that tends to catch their eye very quickly. So these are just some of the key areas that can get a student very interested. And we do have students coming from the area. I had 5 students come from North Carolina this past fall. Had a student from South Carolina come up this past fall. So I always tell everybody, there are other students just like you that are coming up from there. So that's the thing, gets excited. And my North Carolina students were so diverse. I had 2 in theater, 1 in business, 1 in IT, and 1 in nursing. So they were a good variety of students that were coming up from various different reasons.
And my last question for you, what is something that you would encourage students, or like a piece of advice that you would give any incoming freshmen? And it doesn't have to be about admissions and specifically, or it can be, or just in general, what is some advice that you would give to rising freshmen?
Yeah, so for me, I've been in admissions now. I can't believe I'm saying this, but only almost 9 years, which blows my mind. So during that time, I've learned a few things along the way, whether it be my own experience or seeing other students' experiences or something like that. My best advice for a student is definitely, number one, visit your school and get to know your admission counselor. Whether you want to go to Western Carolina or Illinois Wesleyan or Tusculum University or whatever it may be in-state, local, or far. You're never going to truly know unless you reach out and visit. I know it's hard to right now with the craziness going on with the pandemic, but there might be some upsides here, because a year ago, I never got to talk to any of my students I recruited other than email and a phone. Now I'm getting to do visits virtually because that's a norm now. So students are actually getting to know our school better because of this, that didn't want to take the plunge of driving up 10 hours or flying. And they're getting to talk to faculty, they're getting to talk to our student ambassadors and me. So they're learning a lot about the school. So if you're a student that didn't think you could travel to see a school far away, like Illinois Wesleyan, but now all of a sudden you're like, this school's really great, it's on the radar, check us out virtually, take advantage of that. Plus, you get to be on your couch, you get to be comfy, your bed, whatever it is. So it makes it even easier to enjoy it instead of having to worry about going out and dressing up somewhere. I mean, that's as convenient as it gets. So I can't stress enough, if you're serious about a school, if you've got a top 3, if you've got a top 5, whatever it may be, visit the school in person if you can, ideally, if you feel safe or they are allowing it to be safe. But virtually, at least at the minimum, give it a shot that way.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much for presenting today and giving all this great advice and information for these students. I didn't see any questions, so we will go ahead and wrap this session up. But thank you all for joining us today. When you close this window, there will be a quick survey, which will be about 4 questions long, and we really appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at CACRAO.org. In about a week, you will be able to find this session's recording as well as any other sessions recordings at CACRAO.org. And even if your friends weren't able to come out tonight, definitely share this link so they can check out Illinois Wesleyan. Thank you all for joining us again, and I hope you have a great night.